We are live. Welcome, Highfalutin Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 188. It is your pals back from Boston, Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
Doing well. I tell you, it was a whirlwind of stuff in Boston, and we're back now, and it's a whirlwind of activity going on still.
Well, thank you everyone so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. All of our info is there. Hit us up on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are at Ski Bum Podcast. Subscribe to us. Listen to this podcast while you're running up a hill. So you're doing two things at once, multitasking, getting it done. Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, the good folks at Quickie Wax, QUICKIEWAX. Go to their website, quickywax.com. Get yourself some wax. They got 4 kinds: warm, all temp, cold, cleaner. It is ski season.
Let's
you probably
go to ski
could
news.
All right, so now let's roll into the ski news. And we're going to start off with a sad, unfortunate story. Jake Burton Carpenter, founder of Burton's Snowboarding, widely considered the founding father of the snowboarding industry and lifestyle, passed away Wednesday evening in Burlington, Vermont, from testicular cancer complications, according to his spokesperson. He was 65 years old.
Damn.
He went by his middle name and founded his company from his Londonderry, Vermont barn in 1977 with 300 snowboards sold the first year. As his company grew, Burton became a spokesperson for the sport, which by the 1980s had joined skiing as a recognized winter sports competition. His company, headquartered in Burlington, has expanded into snow sports apparel and accessories and has a global reach with more than 900 employees. It's one of those stories that you just, you don't see it coming. And, I guess Jake had cancer before, and it seemed to be in remission. But, he had wrote a letter to his employees 2 weeks ago saying that, it came back, but that he was optimistic and things were looking good. And then, all of a sudden, things took a sad turn for the worse. So
yeah, I think people need to realize, everybody hears a lot about breast cancer awareness, and there's a lot of other cancers out there. So you really have to be aware that there's a lot of different ones out there, and hopefully everybody is getting the right help and checking things before they get out of hand. But it's cancer. It's tough stuff, man.
Yeah, and testicular is usually one of the ones that's more easily treated. But I think didn't Lance Armstrong also have that?
Yeah, I mean,
started there and then kind of spread.
Well, yeah. The problem is it's I guess it's a gland, so I don't know if it spreads quicker or if there's a bigger chance for that. But yeah, it's just not. Any cancer is not good. Let's put it that way. So
yeah. So condolences to the Burton family and his wife and 3 children. So, and all his friends. I mean, someone who changed the world in that way.
He did change the world. Think about it. He was snowboarding.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah,
it's crazy. I love the picture of him with the snowboard with the tether on the front where he's holding it.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know if he has the boots fastened in. It's pretty cool.
I mean, you got to imagine just the number of prototypes he must have gone through when he was making these to get it right.
I wonder if he started with the freeboard, the no binding.
Well, it mentioned in one of these articles that he started with the snurfing.
Oh, okay. Which probably has no bindings or boots, and they're just surfing on the board.
Exactly, like the thing with the string in the front. Yeah. That's what that was.
And then the other one, he has like a tether on his hand, kind of like a surfboard, so that if he falls off, he can get the board. But I guess he's not fastened to the board there either. So
that's pretty amazing. One of those freeboards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just to create a new product like that, to build a new industry. I mean, it's
it's everything from snowboards to apparel to gloves. I have a pair of Burton gloves and pants, and they're fantastic.
I've got a Burton backpack that I just got recently.
It's crazy, like all that stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing what one person really can do. I mean, obviously, it's taken dozens of hundreds of people to make it all come to where it is now. But without his courage and tenacity and drive and motivation, none of it would have ever gotten to that point.
Yeah. And the
And
ambassador that he was too was good.
and at one point he could have just said, "Nah, I'm not going to do this. I'm done. Just
Yeah.
going to take a nap." And that's I'm sure lots of people over history have been at that point where they're almost ready to break through and stopped. So, you look at a story like this and it's easy to get way down and get sad from, the conclusion. Obviously, death and cancer are horrible things, but to celebrate the man and what he did and what he brought to the world, that's really what this is about. That's what we should all be focusing on, and what he would want us to focus on too.
Yeah.
And there's a cool kind of parallel story to this from our friend Matt Pepin, who we spoke to just this past week in Boston. And it's crazy. He actually mentioned this story to us when we were talking to him.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Because he mentions when he was out in South Korea for the Olympics back in 2018, him and the Globe Olympics writer John Powers had put together a list where they ranked all of the Olympic sports. And Matt was saying that he thought about the list and thought that snowboarding was too low. They had it at 6th. But then once they got to South Korea, he made a quick change and they bumped it up to 3rd. Which is pretty funny because the next day they had received a letter. Actually, Matt said when he woke up to a email with the subject line "Note from Jake Burton," and it was from his publicist, who was writing to share some feedback from Burton. And it said, "It is noteworthy that you rated the viewability of Olympic sports, and cool that you put snowboarding on the podium, 3rd place. That said, snowboarding should for sure have been on the top of your list."
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to say, "Consider the fact that this sport was pioneered in New England. New Englanders have won a plethora of gold medals, and it is one of the few Winter Olympic sports that Americans have ever swept the podium. Not to mention the energy that snowboarding brings to the Olympic stage is infectious. While our sport may appeal to a younger demographic, and for some our lexicon is hard to understand, maybe by watching people will get younger, learn some new vocabulary, and be inspired to get on the mountain themselves." That was really cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And that kind of, harkens back to the fact that, he got the message from his same publicist today that he had passed away. So, an interesting tie in there. And yeah, very unfortunate, but also someone that, again, is extremely inspiring and motivating. And, if you're ever trying to build something and any sort of business idea, opportunity, and don't quit. Don't give up. Something may happen. I'm sure he made plenty of crap snowboards and wanted to quit, but he didn't. And look where it took him. He's got a name that's completely iconic in the industry.
He will be remembered. So
forever. Yep.
All right. So next up, we have former Aspen City Councilor, Ski Co executive Derek Johnson pleads guilty to stealing and faces 4 to 12 years in prison. I think we mentioned this story way back when it came
we mentioned it. Yeah, when it first broke, and they charged this gentleman, Derek Johnson.
And now I guess they went through and they're doing. I guess he's waiting for sentencing. So 4 and 12 years in prison he's facing.
He had to plead guilty, it looks like.
Yeah, they're saying he stole between $100,000 and $1 million from Ski Co between June 2013 and January 2019.
That's a pretty big range.
That's
that's a big difference. $100,000 versus $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he started with $100,000 and was up to $100 million, and I don't know.
6 years. I mean, that's a long period of time.
6 years. That's a nice little extra bunch of cash that he was getting. So,
Now, is that the wholesale price of the skis, or is that
well, I don't know. They're saying
retail?
him and his wife, they're saying previously it was alleged that him and his wife Carrie stole more than 2.4 million worth of skis, snowboards, and other goods during his 17-year history. But now they're saying he'll only have to pay back $250,000. And I guess because it was a plea deal. So he did a plea deal. They said, look, we're just gonna make you pay $250,000, which they may have found out that he still has that money left in his bank account, and he'll pay that or whatever. But he stole a lot more than that. So
I love his statement. I acquired some items without permission. That's pretty much just stealing.
yeah, that's kind of what a little bit of a definition of embezzling or stealing.
Sort of the MO there.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it what you want. It's still taking something that you shouldn't have. So, yeah, no slap on the wrist for you. You're getting some time.
Yeah.
So it was 2 counts of theft of 1 million or more, 2 counts of theft, and 2 counts of conspiracy to commit theft. So, and that is for his wife, Carrie Johnson. So she's going through, and I guess she's facing charges as well.
Yeah, her case isn't gonna continue until December 16th. And it mentions that, her attorney, that it's kind of a big deal because they have 3 children.
Mm.
I don't know their ages, but
maybe you shouldn't steal to support your children. How about that? Well, I feel bad for the kids. I mean, it's still a criminal, $1
million worth of skis. That's a lot of goddamn skis.
I know.
Let's just say, let's be conservative, say $500 a pair. 1,000, 10,000. Is that 2,000 pairs of skis? My math could be off.
Well, it could be 2,000 pairs of skis or jackets or like a combination of all. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or 2 pairs of those fancy Arnold Schwarzenegger foil skis.
There you go. Maybe it was just foils.
Maybe just those foil skis. That was it.
They kept missing the shipment of foils. They had 5 on every shipment. They kept.
He misplaced 2 pairs, and now they're banging them for.
Oops, my bad. They got misplaced. I mistook them for the skis that I brought in that day, and just took them home.
Yeah, so between 200 and 2,000 pairs, allegedly.
Damn.
At $500 a pop.
So the bigger thing to me is like when these people steal stuff like this, right? They're stealing merchandise. It always amazes me, not just that they stole this much stuff, but that they were able to resell it without getting caught earlier. Like that's a lot of stuff to come up and just start reselling through some other place. And that never flagged anybody to say, hey, you didn't have any expenses, or, were you lying on your taxes saying it had all these expenses and then you got all this profit? Like it's just weird.
Hey, man,
you set up a separate company.
Listen, if someone comes up to you and says, hey, man, do you want these shiny brand new DPS whalers for $400 that retail for $12.99? You're going to be like,
Dude, I'm buying that $12.99 diamond encrusted cod piece.
There you go.
That should retail for $3,000, of course.
So, I mean,
but I'm not getting in trouble for buying it necessarily. They're getting in trouble for buying it.
You could see it happening a few times, but that many times, yeah, it's just.
That's what I mean. The volume of like reselling that stuff is just like, does he have like a fence guy in another country that's offloading? He's offloading it to, like
they're making ski chairs, the Adirondack chairs out of those.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, but you think about like what you do to sell that stuff, that gets you into other crimes. Like, are you evading taxes at that point too? Now you're going to face tax charges. Are you selling overseas? And now you're going to face like some international theft charges or some shit. Like, I don't know. It could mean more stuff coming up, but it just kind of, it boggles my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a demented story, but
it's a good follow-up though.
Yeah. You might get busted. So don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Next up, Killington, Vermont, the home of the FIS Women's World Cup race, November 30th to December 1st, officially gets the positive snow control for Audi from the FIS World Cup Association, the governing body. So they have given the green light, and they say that the races will take place this next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend.
Wow.
For the fourth year in a row. They have lucked out again. Yeah, this year was a little trickier. They didn't have as much snow as they had the previous years.
Yeah, a lot of cold though, right?
It's been pretty cold. This past week has been a little bit sketchy, but there is potential for them to get about 6 inches over the next couple days, which should really help. And then it looks like the week of Thanksgiving, they're in pretty good shape. So I guess all that analysis, actually that 6-inch snow forecast changed, and now it's like an inch.
Okay.
Sunday, they were originally looking like they were going to get 6 inches. But now, looking at the forecast for Killington for the days of the races, 29 and sunny. I mean,
damn.
And the week before, a couple of days are going to be a little warm, 42 and 40 for the highs, and then 31, 29 the days before. So they should have more than enough time to blow enough snow, get it to where it needs to be, and then hit it really hard those last 2 days before and have a beautiful weekend for the races.
Well, I'm excited for it too, because now I'm actually going to be able to watch it, because I think it's been on NBC before, but now I've been watching a little bit.
NBC Sports, yeah.
Yeah, so the way it's going to go, Giant Slalom second run on the 24th, live from 1 to 2 is going to be on NBCSN, which is NBC Sportsnet.
The 24th?
Yeah, November 24th.
That's the weekend before. That's the other race. It's the 30th and December 1st.
Oh, that's the other race. Okay. So it should be on NBC though, right?
It's usually NBC Sports, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think they put some on NBC, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, so this is big news. Great for Killington, great for New England, great for USA skiing, and hopefully Michaela can grab that double gold. I know she's been so close the last couple of years. Probably a little bit extra nerves being up there, having skied at Burke Academy. But Twiddle's going to be there, so I don't know what else you need. You got skiing, you got Twiddle. It's going to be a fantastic weekend.
Well, Michaela won the first year they had it there, and
she won a gold last year, but she came in second I think she came in first in the slalom and second in the giant slalom.
Okay. Well, I guess this weekend we'll be able to see the qualifyings or whatever.
Isn't it a race somewhere else over in Europe?
I don't know.
I think that's what you're looking at.
Let's see. Oh, never mind. Hold on a sec. I get the updated one. Well, anyway, it should be on NBC. I think that's
looking at last year.
Yeah, they gave me the wrong year.
Oh boy!
Of course, when I pull it up, they give me the wrong year.
Boy.
Thanks, internet.
Aw.
That's what I get for pulling it up while we're talking.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I hate the fact that when you go to these articles and you're like looking at stuff and they tell you all about this sport, sometimes they leave out like either the dates or like how you can watch it. Like some of these articles leave that out, and it's like, and then you gotta go look it up. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of events this upcoming weekend in Finland, in Italy, in France, in Sweden. So those events are happening. But if you look on the schedule, Killington, November 30th and December 1st. It's pretty crazy. It's awesome.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. Next up, women-only ski brand Coalition Snow opens its first retail location in Truckee, California. So Coalition Snow is a brand operated and designed by women for women. They just opened their first location. And it's, founded by Jen Gurecki in 2013 to show women and young girls that they have a place in the sports industry and can shred snow just as much as the guys can. So, yeah, it started off with a Kickstarter campaign. They raked in over 30,000 in 2015, and then they've been just trucking from there on out. So, yeah, it's pretty neat to see. They got a good boost.
This is cool, but you're really pigeonholing yourself, considering, again, did you see what happened this past week? How the lady who was it, Elizabeth Banks, was she the director of the Charlie's Angels movie?
Yeah,
How she was complaining that Hollywood is sexist because she made a terrible movie and people didn't go and watch it.
Yeah. So it's Hollywood and everybody, all the viewers' problem.
Yes, it's their fault. They are the patriarchy. All the men and women who didn't go to watch the movie, who had better things to do, it's their fault.
I mean, it is a good, good to note that, when you're starting a company like this, that you are willingly alienating people from your brand, right?
There's some people who are going to love that. There's some people who that's going to make them go, it's just for the ladies. Like, I am in. And that's great. That's awesome.
It is great. But, on the same thing, if you made a brand just for white males, I don't think it would have a different connotation. So at what point are we going to
foil skis are?
Yeah. Well, at what point are we going to get to that? And it's, where that's going to be taboo to do too, I don't know. It's nice now and, celebrate it and do whatever you want with it. But like you said, you created a whole brand.
You're pigeonholing yourself, really.
Not including everyone. I mean, you want to talk about inclusion and being included in everything, yet you're not including everybody in your brand.
So what if there was like a bunch of dudes protesting outside of the Coalition Snow store out in Truckee?
There could be, but you know what they're probably doing? They're taking the high road and they're just skiing and boarding. They're just shredding.
Don't care. Now. Exactly. Again, that's exactly how I feel. I'm not gonna protest. I'm not sad. I'm like, I'm happy they're doing what they're doing. I want them to be successful. The more successful people in the industry, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah. So,
but that said, it's a male-dominated sport, and now you're catering to the minority of that sport. So you better hit this out of the park. Yeah. Otherwise, you might be in trouble. I mean, look at Lululemon.
Than having a brand. They're trying to get women, young girls and women more into the sport, which is good. It's good for the sport. God, I mean, when we were doing share houses, I wish it was like that. It was, instead of being 90% dudes, it would have been at least mixed.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, hopefully with this mission, they are successful. But if they've got, it's
always weird to me,
having
right?
a successful Kickstarter is one thing. Having a sustainable product that can last and be that targeted of a demographic, it's tricky, especially with an industry that a lot of other companies now are starting to focus and make their women's lines more unique and not just, shrink it and pink it, as they say.
Yeah. Hey, good luck to them. And let's we'll see what happens,
Yeah, I hope they're successful. So get out there, go to coalitionsnow.com and check out their site, ladies, and buy some of their gear. Well, thank you everyone so much for listening to the podcast. We really do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We got the Groovy Shop there, skibumpodcast.com/shop. Have more stuff up there next week. So for Black Friday, you'll be ready to go to buy some new gear. We are on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are at Ski Bum Podcast. Subscribe and rate us, please. That would help us out tremendously. Go to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify to do that. We're also on Pinterest, I think, SoundCloud, YouTube, everywhere. If you want to send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you guys next week.
Stay high, stay flutin'.
See ya.